IGS, Institution of Engineers, ACCE, and encouraging and training various which represents several giants in the infrastructure, Faber, Compare, Kell, etc. Bomacrit LLP, a manufacturing license, Indian Demolition Association, Robotics and Construction, one, and of the Twin Towers that
Mohan Ramanathan is here. A compulsory announcement in the beginning I have made.
Can you switch off these cinema lights? Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, Bangalore chapter. I give a talk in some part of India, October 5th, by few others. So I'm very lucky to be in this city, to bring me here. Okay, I coined this title as Engineering Perfection, and will be very bland. It was a vision is concerned. I've been in this field for over 25 years, and almost all the technology, demolition and recycling consultant, being demolished in India, more than 40 years old, a lot of bridges, infrastructure, large PSU companies is to get into recycling and future demolition and recycling. I formed an association in 2019 to bring this technology up, bring professionalism to this part of the industry, which is very crucial today. So let's go through this talk based on, I'm sure all of you would have, they were actually praying that something, in fact one of the media said, sir, if it had gone wrong, we would have been talking. So the, what you all saw was, would ever know unless I put in this sort of engineering. So I'm going to take you, his monuments are all over Karnataka, and I salute him today. Fact file. For those who don't know, I'll show you, give you some facts. This is amongst common people. Why should you demolish national waste and things? I hope you all know what is implosion. It's the use of explosives with least collateral damage. Test blast. None of you are mining engineers. You may not have even handled. And why we did a test blast. It's a tall building, more than 100-meter building, for the implosion. This is a very critical part of our, want to demolish it. The way to prepare the building, data collection during after blast. This is interesting. And what is the data we collected and how it was. As a consultant, how much do you give market? But I made some critical review analysis. You're going to take away some secrets. Data collection and during analysis of the blast performance. And clean up. This is important because we created a mess, and what as engineer this and acknowledgement, of course. That's just check if it works. Know the history of this. Read as we read through, as I show. These are the two towers we are talking about, which is here it says tower 16 and 17. It's Apex and Cyan were the names given. The main reason why Supreme Court gave the order to, mind you, all of them are under the same developer, all these buildings, filed the case in 2009, somewhere it's there, floors, which was not the original plan. These were given sanction from 15 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, from mostly government organizations, promised, and they thought they'll have a good. Was these two towers were unauthorized, but accusation. So this is called Aster 2. Are the people who filed the case in 2009 in Allahabad High Court, comes under UP, and they fought tooth and nail. From Allahabad, they lost the case. The Noida authorities kept giving them sanctions to go up to even 40 stories, while they were fighting in the court. Then it moved to Supreme Court. They appealed in Supreme Court. They won. Supreme Court gave a ruling, nothing doing. These are the Resident Welfare Association So it is not, as the press says, it's not an illegal conspiracy will put it. The resident welfare associations were denied of what they thought they will get when they bought the apartment. And a lot of them died during this 2009 to 2021 journey. They were all retired. So a lot of them who fought were no more to see the victory. So that is the, you can read the other two. So this is a clear case association and putting their foot down and said what was not sanctioned in the initial plan, you cannot build. So this was what the case is all about. 12, you can see the numbers, 2012, our flats were booked, advances taken, and all of them got their money back with interest. So 2021 August, nearly 1 year ago, the ruling was given and it was fought obviously by the developers. It was fought, but they took notes. It is your job to get it done also. So in August, Supreme Court ruling very clear was given to the Noida authorities. They mentioned that whatever method is demolition itself was online at that time, saying down in any method you want, but within the time frame. So that's how I was involved. And in the last paragraph, you can see that an agency and get it done and get it approved for edifice and CBRI. There was a team where others did not have demolition expertise. So edifice engineering was the contractor, is a company in Mumbai, and Supreme Court was involved in this and giving the ruling, and they put their foot down that it has to be done. Again, I had to justify, go to the site, see the progress and all the difficulties they have faced. I'm going to explain why the extension of time for this contract also Supreme Court gave, it was executed. This was the team, the main team in the beginning. Now, when it comes to this, what are the options for demolition? It has to be done by this date, and whether it's doable and whether it will be three choices here, and then you can have the level of and the time frame, cost, time, and risk. These are the three vectors in any, because this is a 100-meter building, and we need very almost double of what we will use, and beyond this it stopped. So from 33 from top down, very low risk. Once you hoist the machines to the top, and you're also, somebody topmost floor. So that was not a problem. Bring it up to this level, we used a based machine, and using hydraulic crusher, was a based technology, which is up to 30 meters. You slice the building into, use tower crane at the ground level and dispose. Common, recently also consuming, and we have to, then from that's a slow process, and it's almost the third was using explosives and implode the building, amount of work involved. So this requires a lot of site building in India ever. So last year experience of doing this, finally after a lot of deliberations, this method was chosen. And that is the reason we brought jet demolition, because they are experts in explosive demolition. So my contention is, so even this method, using massive, we can do it. It will take 3 years. Here is a multi-storied building, and started demolishing from top down. Very risky. It's a very risky method, but it could have worked. So some more method, high reach, tall machines based on excavator, pros and cons, cost, time, risks, and so forth, and the Noida authorities. Final, the bottom line of both this company, Edifice and Dead Demolition, we had demolished the building and it had tilted and states failed. You will get hundreds and hundreds. So we had in Cochin against a Supreme Court order, very successful. For us, we need gravity. We can't go and do it we don't have to displace anybody. No families there. And it's the shortest duration possible, capability to check at every stage before the collapse. What about then? There was a gas pipeline. I will explain when I show that. Fast execution, safest and economical. So in the field, in the site, that this can be done successfully, leave alone that without a failure. So this is a do or die, no second. Always very, if it's done in an industrial atmosphere all around, can we handle this dust? Can it be controlled? These are two standing far away, 200 meters, 300 meters, got hit and they got killed. So we have to make sure that this doesn't happen. People are always watching. Somebody wants to go very near with his mobile camera. If he is hit, we are finished. So this kind of risks media connected event. So these steps. Now come to a chapter which none of you will know about this. Just like any other design, like structural design, doing finite element analysis, doing model analysis, taking material properties, it's exactly the same we do, but in a very short. Basic principle of the implosion is various theories of structural collapse due to earthquake. It is especially if you look at the stilt column buildings, the stilt columns get, this is exactly what we will do, and then we blast the columns and we weaken the able to bring this building without because otherwise they will not let it happen. So the implosion design called for selecting columns, selecting the floors, and selecting the columns in that floor, and to say, but very difficult. So this is the tower. I will explain. This is one of the towers there, where these are primary blast floors. In this secondary blast floors, the last basement we did not touch. We did not. No, this is the ground floor. This is the first basement. Up with debris for cushioning. Plus these, it is sitting on a piles, and we wanted to give a chance for the piles to be reused and not damaged by the fall. So we have blast floors, primary blast floors, secondary blast floors. And these are what are called as the impact cushions, which I'll explain later. Even 1 meter by 1 meter, and the very thick stairwell lift walls. So we always had a doubt whether we have enough concrete carried by direct compression in concrete, and balance is carried by steel. So immediately make instantaneously by the blast, the concrete carrying capacity is 0. This is what we try to do. There are a lot of research papers available. There are some of the constants here, the material factor, things, so that we are almost on the right track. So the shame. So entire partition wall. So first we removed the entire weight, the finishes, the floor finish, the partition walls, whatever was done after which are the portions to go. Demolished it and removed it, and as far as the weakening the structure, we call it. So this is the blast design calls for delays from the basement to the particular direction. When I showed you the first movement has to come. So these are, I explained to you, which is the primary blast floor, secondary blast floor. And then we had put steel containers, 20-foot steel empty containers as a protection. Containers will prevent some damage. And buildings. Similarly, this is in the plan. In this direction is the blast will happen. So we have to pull this building as it falls in this direction. The columns is 0.9 seconds in the 33rd floor. So this blast design progresses both in the horizontal direction and the vertical direction. But when you see it, you will think it's just one blast between one line to other line. So the blast design calls for effectively blasting in this sequence with a small delay. From here to here, it's 1 second. So all these things also have a delay. It pulls the building. I know this will be like this. The debris after it collapses this is the Gale pipeline. This is the main road. This is the containers kept and protection for that building. And this is the footprint of what we and earth bombs. This is the gas pipeline. And Gale, we had to get clearance from Gale, NOC from Gale, because they were running the pipeline and they would not shut it down. It's a pressurized gas line. It's a main feeder or something, they said. So you can imagine we are blasting near a gas pipeline, how much of involvement and limits of what the API codes are. They agreed that some protection of this sort will be done, and it was done. And mind you, everything was measured. Every single parameter was measured. We only touched the shear walls, lift walls and shear walls, almost 20%. Here we are very careful. We had a structural engineer who works with JET, worked with us, and so he had to after it is weakened. That risk was important for us, that we are going to remove and a floor like this. So these red ones came to me. I'm just showing one a typical way we approached the engineering science behind this. And it was not just one shot. We went on several iterations and changed these locations to make sure the final stresses on the columns are safe. And CBRI was our watchdog. They had verified everything. We had a company from UK who had predicted the vibration levels here. And all of you know that the vibration levels in a RC structure will be, we can allow up to the peak particle velocity to be 25 mm per second. But this is okay for a normal. Here we wanted to make it a little tight, so we allowed only 20. And this was predicted. Before we did the job, it could be 18 to 27, and with the blast, see if the one blast overlaps the other, the peak particle, the waves, and the stress wave propagation in the soil. And there. So how do we verify all this? This is all theoretical. So in this kind of important projects, we do a test blast. Whatever we have assumed, the powder factor, the kind of explosives, amount of explosives, based on the, in the basement column B1. So these were basement in the existing building, actual blasting. From the analysis, we knew that removing the five columns at the basement level, loss of support will not harm so we become daredevils. So we took the risk that we'll remove those loads, make it zero, and see what happens. So what we tried, and this one was on the 13th floor. This was on the 13th floor, and we had also predicted to contain the blast energy. This was projected, and this was done in the 6 test columns. So the test columns were taken. Test blast was done as Joseph actually put their geophones and accelerometers to measure the vibration, to measure it will work or not was the test for us, an actual building. And we got the results here. This is the actual vibration record near the ATS building. ATS building results on the vertical and the vertical acceleration, and the accelerometers and the geophones were used, both vertical and horizontal. So the biggest data for us, vibration, okay, it's an external factor, but the biggest, this is the actual columns, this is the basement column, we have to increase. And the level, I welcome you to read this while I talk. And here is the result of the test blast. So before the test blast, the number of holes, now these holes are, so we had 8,300 holes. After the blast, it became 9,000, close to 10,000 holes to be drilled, 19%. Then total meters for holding the debris, not flying out, again 50%. The number of primary blast flows also, what we showed in the first one, changed 3.7 tons. And number of days to charge is also increased. The days to charge means when all the job is done, everybody goes out, then the explosives vans are charged of time. I had given my seconds at this stage. So it became the syrups so that they don't hold. So the main vertical bars are allowed to buckle. We wanted to buckle. So went through the blast sirens that we have workplace risk, disaster management. This is exclusion zone. We had a 250-meter exclusion zone, which means nobody there, nobody within 250-meter radius should be there on the day of the blast, few hours before. So this sort of exhaustive risk analysis and mitigation was done and satisfied. It satisfied us because it is not for anybody else. Is dust a big issue? Of course, we had air quality index meters. Pollution Control Board had set up this, and we said in half an hour it's a live map with the Government of India. We are following that. So a lot of others addressed. To a certain level, we had identified them. It doesn't come as a missile, and 250 meters, nobody is there, nothing will happen. But still, it can hit a glass. It can hit something. They vacate. All the cars were vacated. 5,000. We cannot say there will be no collateral damage. There could be some damage. His claim was less than 2 lakhs. All the emergency services in place. No fly zone. Even the ATC was informed. Because the government was involved, as the Supreme Court is involved, we could do this. ATC was asked to stop overflights for 1 hour. 5,000 residents vacated, 250-meter exhaust zone. Then at the site, to cut off rubber tires to soften near the road, this initially we thought it's not required. Then we put this around the building in the fall direction. Geotextile drapes, these are, you can see, next picture I'll show you, that these drapes were put on all nearby buildings, like hooding them completely. And you can see this, how these guys are doing. This is a straight fall of 50, 60 meters. They go around putting 6 rounds of chain link fencing, tying to them, then come back with geotextile 6 rounds on the selected columns, which will be blasted. And of course, the government had about 20 fire engines, 10 ambulances. So these are what I've told you already. Some of the pictures said how we prepare the columns. And after first we drill them, first the holes are drilled, then the explosives. Dust suppression systems were in plenty use, trenching, and this is how it looks before we put the actual charge. And the neighboring buildings were all covered with geotextile. This is not from India, this is in South Africa, but this is how, similar manner to explain. Drawings were prepared, which are the buildings, where are the barriers, and the connecting corridor. The basement is connected between these 2 buildings. This is the existing building, this is the building to be blasted. We removed the basement completely to cut off so there any vibration, and we'll rebuild the basement slab. Now, to prepare the building, I said we need to prepare the building to weaken it. When I say prepare, weaken the building to take the blast. Cubic meters. Total number of holes is 9642 holes, 17,000 meters of drilling, 34 mm dia, about 20% of the shear walls. So the jet demolition people will come and mark like this in the entire building for knocking off, for removal, and the team comes and removes this. Otherwise, it's very difficult to monitor in so many floors, in so many locations. So these are very clearly marked in the drawing, and then the site 34 mm extended drills, hundreds and hundreds of drill bits were used, diamond core drilling. These are the diamond core drill holes going straight into the shear wall. This we have 25 machines like this working, and the amount of total man days, about 45,000 man days over 6 months. It's 3 lakh square meters of chain link and geotextile. It's a huge amount of BOQ. Machines. It cannot get done without machines, and you can see we had mini excavators, skid steer loaders, 20-ton excavators, hand chippers. The list is here. 45,000 liters of diesel used, and 15 containers, total explosives 3,700. Now coming to explosives, we use 100% Indian make explosives, company called Solar to handle, and we had the shock tubes. These are shock tubes. These are cords, and this is how it looks after it's done. After the columns are wired and explosives put inside, actually nobody is allowed. Only their team goes in. For pigeons to go away, we had special dog catching in the last 1 week to take away all the dogs, cats. Why? Because they can go and trip over these wires. So every single detail was taken care of. Just for So this why this system emulsion explosive use and shock types, shock tubes and delays, unexploded holes. You saw these holes. If it's unexploded, then nothing will happen. It cannot be blasted unless you connect an electric dynamo to that, which you need to bring something. So other systems are a little bit risky. This is a much safer system. And 100% Indian product. Nearby buildings, do a physical survey, map the cracks and existing defects, and also do model analysis. 3D model analysis was done and giving the vibration magnitudes given. These are the inputs for the vibration analysis of these buildings. And so engineering study detailed survey was Esther 2. The most sensitive building is 9 meters away. And after that, extensive retrofitting was done to that building. So that building benefited because we extended its life by retrofitting that building completely. All the tests that you will normally do for a NDT and core samples taken to study the stability of that building and of the nearby buildings, not just one building. I'm not showing the videos and the animation of this. This is the chairman of this, where explosive vans, in case we had unexploded holes, it has to be taken away or blasted. So they were kept in place. Evacuation of the all. So we had arranged a viewing gallery in a nearby building, quite far away, 3 floors, and we went, and 1 floor was government authority, one project. They all clapped at the end of the show. VIP briefing, I did the VIP briefing of what to expect today. I also told them expect that it may not go down fully. Walk around and gave a clearance. They finished the final check. And most importantly, I did the puja for about an hour in the site. I believe without God's help and gravity, we cannot see of an electrical cord to a dynamo. Flying in the air. Ground vibrations were all an air quality, pollution control board, ground vibrations when IIT Madras with almost 10 geophones and accelerometers. So everything was done on the last day. Here you see I'm doing the puja and explaining to the invitees. Some of them are from top companies in India, explaining. We took them inside and explained what they cannot see otherwise. And then this is the viewing gallery which we watched. And this is how it looked, very silent. And this is from our viewing gallery in the neighboring building, quite far away. So all of you should have seen this footage. So I will just run through this footage again. So this dust, I was there for 5 minutes, for half an hour. 2:30 was the blast till 3 o'clock. After 3 o'clock, all the dust. Actually, what really happened was we had monitoring the wind direction, and we thought the wind was direction towards us. So we don't have control. But still, after 30 minutes, there was no dust seen from the top where we were standing. So for want of time, I'm not playing the whole video. You must all seen it. There is a similar video also from various angles. I have all the data analyzed till now. Few data I have, I'll share with you. So here this is Dr. Anil Joseph from GeoConsult, and then we have accelerometers and from all the stakeholders. This is collecting data. And this is the black box. Why I put a red sensor put inside the building by CBRI, whatever it is, and we recovered this. What you see here is these boxes were indestructible. They were collected from the debris and handed over to them. So this, but still that they use the opportunity like a field research. And one day I will publish a paper with all this data, have everything properly. 5 minutes. Okay. Displacement. These are the actual curves which I got from IIT Madras after the blast, all within the limits. You can see here, what you have to see is here. What we are looking for this data. So the highest here is this is the highest So this is the analysis. 9 seconds was achieved for full collapse, no flying debris, no damage. Pollution Control Board published the air quality index immediately within 1 minute. Was a good blast design. For want of time, now critical performance review. Everyone knows it's a success, but for me, it's not a success. It could have been better. I just put some points here. Vibrations are within limits. We know noise. This portion went away from our line, from our expected line. Top 3 floors of both the buildings came. So I don't think anybody has seen this except you and me, and of course our team when we analyze critically. So this, I would say, could have been better. This is the close-up of this. Can you switch off the lights? This close-up of 3 floors in both the towers. I would say it's me to me. But yes, this is amongst engineers. I feel secondary demolition is going on right now. It will take another 3 months. 1 month is over. 2 more months. So these are usual machines that are being used. And recycling and cleanup here. The money for the contractor is being sent to Noida C&D plant. Of course, it's a very small plant, cannot handle it. So only partially it's being recycled. So I will not spend more time on this. You can see the pictures, very self-explanatory. This is last slide. 3 recent demolitions of illegal structures have reinstalled confidence on the Indian legal system. Here, this is the Noida. They are bleeding blood from their eyes because the old people, some of them died, and their life savings they're all rejoicing today. This even careful when they invest on this sort of. This is what I think we gave what Supreme Court wanted. Implosion is now an option in India. You will see one on September 2nd, a blast will be going to be done. People are all opting for this because more confidence has come on. It could have been sold as poor flats. It could have been done this. Job to be the 11 lessons I have learned at least, and I'm sharing with you. So you can see the names. All of them, see Supreme Court, for instance, they need to put their foot down, and they know that it can be done now. This is a promotional video by Edifice. I'm not playing it. So this is before, and this is after the implosion. And I wish to thank Edifice and Jet Demolition. No discussion, questions. So somebody can tell, because my talk was purely from the technical angle. 5 minutes, please use it if you want.
Good evening, sir. Wonderful.
Please introduce yourself.
Vinay here.
Can you switch on the lights now, please? Yeah, go on, please go on, don't stop.
Post-demolition.
From 300 meters from ground.
Okay. Percolation of any debris or any...
No.
Nothing. Because it contains TNT, so when it is exploded...
No, there was... Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, I'm yet to receive the report, but the first analysis report, so the post-demolition also surveys have been done. I have not seen the report, but the first messages, there are no major damages. Everybody has gone back. All the residents have gone back same day. Yeah. Now we have taken the data. As you see, exhaustively, we have spent a lot of efforts in collecting data. A lot of things went around. They said they found somebody sleeping there and he had to be pulled out. All that was wrong. The TV was totally, as I told you in the beginning, if it didn't fall, they would have been, they would be the happiest people. It fall halfway. Any other questions? Yes, sir. That was one of the options. Expensive. Cut it by diamond cutting. I said there was one of the slide. I don't want to go back to the slide. Yes, it was considered very slow and expensive.
From the sustainability point of also expensive.
No, sustainability point, we don't change anything. We don't change anything in the sense that we have to bring the debris down and recycle it. That is how sustainability comes, not in the process.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
What about the foundation? It is only above the ground level or anything below that it went up?
As I told you, it has got piles and pile drive and filled up. So it was like a cushion to the foundation because we recommended reuse of the piles. So hopefully nothing would have got damaged.
Thank you.
Other tools, up to 13 floors, and then the air and other.
Whose decision is it? Supreme Court, not mine. I never bothered to. There were other options also. The owner. The case for a full demolition. If they had said, okay, yeah, that's why I said we don't play the judge here. We play the engineer's role. Plus, there was an option to cut the and so that the space is there. So Supreme Court said nothing doing. So we engineers come last.
Here, yeah, for 110 meters, roughly, if a meter has to fall down for that height, for the gravity.
Yeah.
So you said you controlled it.
Yeah.
9
The reinforcement bars won't let it fall. It falls slowly, gravity takes over. Once the CG moves away, the gravity takes over and the blast is uneven. So the 9 seconds is arrived blast design. That we hold it. We could have made it 15 seconds also. Delays. But by that time, the top would have touched down.
Yeah.
So it's a very critical analysis.
Thank you.
If the top touches down and still some more to be blasted, comes and blasts in the ground level, then it'd be awkward.
I'm Rajshekhar. How piles can be utilized, sir?
Other place. So we can close the topic, madam. Madam, can you come again?
What if the building was blast resistant?
We will use a more powerful explosive, not a common explosive like this.
I mean, the design would have been different.
Yeah, the blast design will change. Interesting questions.
I'm Ramesh here.
One more there.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Oh, Ramesh, how are you?
Thank you.
You should be in the front row.
It was an X-ray. It is not something to do with full technical only. I think, son,
Your voice is cracking in your mic. Please. I think we are time out. Maybe last question. One question.
yeah.
Please finish, Ramesh.
Just a minute. Yeah, the authorities who have approved was there any message for them?
Well, they are shaken up.
Okay.
Few people have been taken as a criminal case. Let's not discuss this. They're not been, in my opinion, personal opinion, they are not been punished enough.
Okay, thank you.
Let's put it there. Very difficult to comment on that. So you had one question last. No, you're not even how dirty it is. So if we are happy, this side was a park which we had vacated. This side was Yamuna River and residence. They were residential colony, but that dust goes away if we did press the button.
Sir, my name is Madhukar. How do you explain that 3 floors that did not break?
Me? How do I explain? I didn't do the job.
No, the analysis.
So what they did,
When it
yeah.
fell down,
So what the top 3 floors didn't explain. It didn't break up because we had these. Some chance we take. Even this 3,700 kilos is quite high. So when it touched down, it actually hit a compound wall. There was a compound wall. It fell on the compound. Next day we brought the machines and broke it. But still, from the engineering point of view, on a critical review of the performance, I brought it up. Nobody else will bring it up. I think the endless question. Our guest is here. We should stop. Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
Good
1,
evening,
2.
No, technically I am just one.
Concrete alone.
Was there?
It will be handled quite well. And if we want to blast it to that level into powder, it's going to have negative effects.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the patient listening. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Is a saying, Kumbarang one varsha, Donneg one nimsha. A potter takes a whole year, but for the stick, it is just a second. First, Shrikant and Ajit to come on stage to honor our esteemed Speaker Mohan Ramanathan. Tea and snacks is arranged in the lobby. We can break for 10 minutes and assemble quickly within 10 minutes, please.
Rahul, what's going on?
See, can break it. Let me show you. Oh, my rocket broke. What if yours also breaks?
That will never happen because Dad's got magic.
Magic? Dad, can we please take Ramco home?
And we can build our home as well.
High-strength cement, crack-free concrete. Ramco Supercrete.
Arranged. Please have it and come back within time, please.
Rahul, what are you doing? This is my nuclear plant and this is our home. Let me see how strong it is. It's well made, even the shape is good. But
Ramco Supercrete,
Ramco?
India's strongest cement. We built this nuclear plant with it. It will never develop smallest of cracks. Then how can the radiations leak?
And our
Ramco Supercrete.
The oil shipment is here. Let's start the mission. We will hide this oil in our oil reserve. It is called SPR. SPR strategy.
From the kiln preheats the material and safe control. We have two kilns which is this temperature, which is a semi-finished product, 50 degrees Celsius to 100 fan in all stage preheater cyclones save energy. Kiln is a huge
May I request all the invitees to settle.
Utilization and control of all the production lines. The remote is by offering an overall 3,700 TP.
Behind the schedule by almost 30 minutes. Delegates, time for us to start. Please be seated. Invitees, greetings to all who are present here today. I, Srinivas Chakragiri, on behalf of ACC, the celebration of Engineers Day. I welcome you all, Sri Mokshagundam Visheshwaraya, and even in the areas of industry use, and in short, and of profession, promote friendship, establish rules for professional and ethical conduct, and to such event. Mobiles, or at least keep the job in as quick time as onto the stage. Sri Surya, member of his commitment with the Prime Minister in Himachal Pradesh, he is unable to make it. However, let me now request Shrikant Channal to escort onto the stage. Now, Shri Jaykumar K, President Marketing, the Ramco Cements Limited, onto stage. Treasurer, ACCE Services, Ramco Cement. I request Shri Shesh onto stage. We will begin. Welcome on stage, Nayana ji, please.
Mahanatakaadipriyam Mahanami Maha.
Thank you. Now it is time, Shrikant Channal, Chair.
Mattu, and my professional colleagues. An administrator, also as we are really lucky to invite him, was ACC's activities in with whose efforts we are, and let us hope.
Now play the PPT. Now may I request audience.
Namaskara. Thank you, sir. Sri Anjum Parvez, IAS. He is an engineering graduate from IIT Delhi. Prior to this, he was appointed to Government Department, Corporation, Chairman. This, he was the Commissioner of a Municipal Administrative Perspective of Urban Area to survey these issues. He works related, he has a vast knowledge about urban, has a chief bank assisted water supply, village industries, rural initiative in Karnataka, both forms in Hassan. Has a DC matters, land related matters department.
Deepak Jyoti, members of Bengaluru Center, MV. Presentation by Shri Anil Kumar. The presentation can start. May
Management and Research Mumbai. He represents Ramco Cements, blending materials. We welcome.
May I now request
for that office deliberation in collab cement. You know, that have been doing over the years,
As all of us know, cement was treated as a commodity at that point. It is available, and this is what is numerous admixtures in industry. So at the type of cement, the customers, ranging from how difficult to look at those concrete parameters. And why do we look at the durable structure? Now, that is one way of doing, like we have this much, the probability that can be there. The test needs to be followed to ensure the service life of basic fundamentals. All of us know the durability is being affected by this concrete. We have a whole lot of this thing. So that is a basic fundamental premises on which we all look at. Durability is also given importance to. But the fact remains that based on the requirement. So the thing is that permeability test where the concrete specimen is based on the requirement. So the thing is that permeability test where the concrete specimen is water penetrate, which again is concrete. If the amount of charge that is passed is more, the concrete, which again is concrete. If the amount of charge that is passed is more, the concrete durability is lesser. The amount of charge that is passed is lesser, you have a higher durability. Then more popular to evaluate the durability. Why? Because of the pollution, the action of carbon dioxide on concrete. And here in this test, what happens is that the durability of concrete. Now the thing is that, as all of us know, the major challenge the durability of concrete. Now the thing is that, as all of us know, the major challenge that we face at site is the incidence of cracking. Cracks can occur due to various reasons, but then there are various tests which again tells us whether a particular mix is prone to cracking. In that, one of the tests that we look at is a drying shrinkage test as per ASTM C1804, which we call it as the shrinkage crack ring test, wherein we have this particular specimen, a particular mold, which the concrete is put in this particular mold and then seen by virtue of the deflection prone to cracking or not. So this is the test that is there. And all these tests, we are having it at our research center because many of the consultants, the construction project sites would like to know how the concrete mix behaves as far as durability is concerned. So even cracks can also be studied by introducing a particular temperature or a humidity in a room and then casting a small slab and then seeing for various proportion, is it liable to cracking? Because shrinkage cracks is one of the most common problems that is faced at the construction site. Of course, Ramco Research Development Center has all these facilities of durability of concrete, testing of cement, and we also look at the economical mix design because many of the projects look at how an economical mix design can be done. So that is where we have been able to bring out various cement variants which helps in the economical mix design. Various exposure conditions, various applications, because as all of us know, exposure conditions also play a vital role as far as durability is concerned. So based on the exposure conditions also we need to look at the concrete mix design. Again, mass concreting work, as of this you have what you call the concrete temperature, which is very critical because the surface temperature and the core temperature, the temperature gradient, many of the projects have gone in for ice flakes to control the concrete temperature to see whether the temperature gradient is controlled or not. So there are so many permutations, so many requirements as far as the concrete structures are concerned. Various projects, various states we have been involved there, various construction companies with whom we have interacted. So based on that, we have been able to customize cement based on the application. A data bank of various concrete mix design is also available with various admixtures which are there, which talks about all this, and then we need to fulfill all that. Now coming to the non-structural applications. Now if you look at non-structural applications again, it is different as far as the structural application is concerned. Now taking an example of Ramco Super Plaster, wherein we recommend it for all non-structural applications, whether it is plastering or brickwork. Now the kind of parameters that is required is different from a cement which is used for concreting works. Now you have something called air content and water retentivity, which is very important as far as the plastering or brickwork is concerned. Because the ability to spread over a larger area, the coverage area has to be there, and the mason has to work, comfort is very critical as far as plaster is concerned. The ability of the particular this thing to adhere to the background surface. Different backgrounds, again, the plaster may behave differently. So that is where the pull-out strength plays a vital role and gives us an idea. So this is where, again, if you look at Ramco Supercrete, this is being used for concreting, because if you look at the Ramco Supercrete, when a major nuclear structure,
they had a specification wherein the cement had a lower heat of hydration and at the same time higher rate of gain of strength. So that was the requirement. So the moment we saw that requirement, we asked them, do you need a PPC cement or do you need an overheat wherein, which gives a low heat of hydration and as well as a high rate of gain of strength. So that is what we have been able to give to the housing sector for all concreting works, whether it is concreting of columns, slabs, beams, which gives the required performance parameters at site. Of course, precast items, all of us know various plans. You have number of hollow blocks, solid block, fly ash bricks. Then we have the organized sectors wherein AAC blocks are also there. So numerous precast applications are also there. And to cater to this segment, we have a special type of cement, Ramco Superfast, which looks at the rate of gain of strength. A higher rate of gain of strength is what is required. So we studied the process of various precast manufacturers and we worked along with them to see how it works. AAC block, as all of us know, is a combination of cement, gypsum, aluminum powder, and then the parameters that is needed here, the process parameters would be different. The rate of gain of strength is what is defined here. So precast panels, again, which is panels, components, which speeds up, accelerates the construction work. Of course, the capability, the facilities, the technology, the QC systems, the commitment to quality that we have in the cement manufacturing process, ranging from surface miners to the vertical roller mill to the cross belt analyzer, which analyzes the raw materials as it comes in the conveyor belt. So the limestone stacker and reclaimer, again, which is one of the important higher compressive strength. So that is where normal household make time kind of utilize consulting. Many of them are, new centers have been coming up. So we get to learn a lot of things. We thank the office bearers of Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, and to bring out an optimized solution in various is huge and profit.
Now we have presented G.H. Basavaraj to escort BM Bengaluru onto stage. I request office bearers of Bengaluru Center Thank you, sir. Congratulations to Shri Jaishankar. Sir, may I request Shri Ajit Sabnis, sir, may I now request Shri Ajit Sabnis Thank you, sir. Congratulations to Dr. Sanat Kumar P. Rajamane. Congratulations, sir. May I now request Shri T.S. Rajagopalan to escort Dr. H.B. Balakrishna, Dean Academics, Bengal, relatives, friends, students. Balakrishna, please accompany on stage. Balakrishna, consultant, Design Academy Consulting Civil Engineers, Bengaluru, onto stage. I also request family members, colleagues, and friends of Shri A.C. Shivkumar to join on stage. Thank you, sir. Congratulations to Shri A.C. Shivkumar. May I now request Shashank Sharma, AGM Technical Services, Ramco Cements Limited, to escort Engineer Shashidhar Lingam T, AGM Quality Assurance Quality Control at Bogmani Developers Private Limited, onto stage. I also request family members, colleagues of Shri Shashidhar to accompany on stage. Thank you, sir. Congratulations to Shri Shashidhar Lingam. Congratulations. Now we have student awards. The first award is ACCE Sundaram Merit Award 2022 for Best Dissertation in ME MTech Structures for the academic year 2021-2022. May I call on stage the proud students, Mr. Anil H., RV College of Engineering, Bengaluru, and Ms. Aishwarya KM of National Institute of Engineering, Mysuru, onto stage with their parents, friends onto the stage. I also request Shri Garadadwajan and Shri Umesh B. Rao to take lead in honoring proud students. Round of applause. Congratulations to Mr. Anil and Ms. Aishwarya. Yeah. Congratulations to Aishwarya. Now we have ACCE ANP CPMC Best Civil Engineering Students Award 2022. The award goes to Prithvi N. Prabhu of Dayanand Sagar College of Engineering, Bengaluru. May I request Prithvi and Prabhu to come on stage with parents and friends. Thanks to Shri A.N. Prakash. The award goes to Miss on stage with her parents, friends, tends to come on stage to present the Shri M.S. Ramaswamy. Bangalore Center Student Merit. And I request Shri S. Raghunath, Professor SJCIT Chikbalapur, to come and students. please seated. IAS Managing
Engineer Sri Srikant Channal sir, President Marketing Ramco Cements Limited Sri Jay Kumar sir, Treasurer. This hall is full of the achievers, sir, giving me this upst to commemorate the great eminent personality. Dear friends, it's full of engineers and majority. This year we are celebrating Azadi. In the last 75 years of our independence, our country has, then subsequent governments have contributed. But one thing is extremely important, that engineers and means civil engineering. There was no other engineering. There was other two engineering, civil engineering. And so I can say this day, Sir M. Visvesvaraya, that country has contributed a lot in science, urban planning, and the construction of the special about him, that always feel that what was so important in him. When I was invited for this program, another inch is required if you want to be successful in lesson. So if you go through his history, the kind of contribution which he has made, civilian being given by did, but also the 2 years are playing 3 important roles. 2 years are playing 3 important roles. So 3 important role of gods we are playing on this earth. One is the Brahma, who created that building. Another is the Vishnu, who maintained that building for so many years. And finally the Mahesh, who came and destroyed. So say that every person who is living on this earth is having an Jugaad is less in South India, but if you go to North, it is the application of scientific principle that person is becoming extremely complex. So we have architect which has branched out from the engineering. We have a structural designing in that. We have people who are in the architectural work. So different kind of, and parallelly a lot of other engineerings have evolved. And we have come to a point of time. So we need a civil engineer, we need an electrical engineer. A lot of buildings are coming which are working on the artificial intelligence. We have reached to a situation, a structure that we are seeing in Bangalore. Now urban occurs also on that, because, right? But we all our types are also going behind in the system. So much of push and pull factor for an engineer to work in the system. And I will say the government sector is the worst. Ground level, who will never allow you to sannyasi or engineers are saying a difficult scenario. And I'm so happy who are the founding, they are so fit. I'm really surprised. And the on in his life. When I said it's your bad habits and all those things, so you have to spend, my metro work is going here. I agreed. 1 hour back, I waited till 2 o'clock, and then I saw the video that my engineers is something which is required for the society. So that is the kind of life in case of a computer engineer or something like that, but in case of civil engineering, giving the type of respect which is supposed to be given to the engineers. Side also, but I personally in major irrigation, I worked in the Bangalore water supply, and today I am working in metro, which is country. In fact, I would like to share one incident. Lifters, which are put the crane and a lifting machine right on the top of the floor. I don't know, in 2 to 3 years, coming back, the technology is concerned, as far as the technology is concerned, it is freely available. In fact, about, I asked him, I have one doubt in my mind, has changed. And then I again called back the. So that is the development which has happened today from the Central Silk Board up to KR Puram. And we say that we'll be completing this project by December 2024. Metro Bartade. The phase 2 has not been completed. But I tend, and the kind of time which I am saving, 50-meter U-Gutter is pile cap or the precast. government department that we have become completely plastic job, but our people have become so dependent. Get an in-house civil engineering side. Nahi guru, wait karo, design is ready. R5 line which is going on, which starts from the BMRCL might be knowing that hair crack, nothing is going to happen, it and go ahead. But ultimately, and I was surprised that the interacting with the consultant. So we have to make ourselves to that level. Rise building. In fact, I was so happy today that I always feel a scare after today after seeing Mohan Saab presentation to bring it down. And in spite, there are related issues. If you see in any city, whether it is Delhi, whether it is Bangalore, whether it is today, yes, of course, the government sector. I always feel that 97%. This is the money which is coming from the taxpayer as head of the PWD. There are at least 20 people who want to. Kind of competition is happening. Is that if this target has to be achieved, the sector which is port, it may be also in the system. After passing, they are running around for the job. At least as an internship. That's a big, because over a and they don't realize anything. What is the future of those dams? Are we going to look for the retrofitting of those bridges, those dam which was in a very, very bad condition, after doing the what you call so inside, and pardon? Not talking about that. I know. So a lot of the young generation, there is old generation, the older generation are generation. Reason is that the simple reason is that we maintain a huge and the commitment and that thing. Then the system move. Then the recognize that you people are the real achievers. All my good wishes with you that at the same time, sector, from the academic sector, from the developer side, the recognition is extremely important. If a person does not get the recognition, he gets demoralized. So you have done a great job today, I can tell you. Thanks to them, thanks to their parents who have not shared. This is not the occasion to share with you. One is already engineer, my daughter is already engineer from IIT Roper. So the role of teacher and please focus on the education of the children, and the people, the kind of segment which we are coming is facing and is going to face a big challenge in the future. That's becoming the fact of the life. Because it's a big dilemma. What to do? Your children are in US, or if not US, in some other part of the country. And they don't have time to spend with of people who are sitting in the hall, and I also joined that generation maybe after, develop some hobbies. This is the time we have to start doing some kind of social work. So that once we retire from the service, we are not dependent upon anybody. 5 years in a very good health condition. So we have to make ourselves money with you. Please do some buildings and apartments are coming, 2-bedroom apartment. And they have given a way, we have to change as per that, and we have to keep that, which is extremely important. It's somebody who has colluded, the system has colluded. So one in the urban planning sector also. Most of the things are changing, and maybe that in future will be and demolition. Only the people who have bought those buildings are punished. And once again, I would like to thank some which I never miss. Let me tell you, if anybody comes and tell me that.
Comprehensive, our relationship with society, personal character, for everyone's benefit. Thank you very much. To call in a brief biodata before I marketing of graduation in marketing management. Bunch of such projects in various facilities, including assurance measures in cement marketing in
SSE, MD of Bangalore Metro, is being honored today. Association who are assembled here. And this is where we start off with. It is more than extended family of Ramco. Possibly encouraged us to go much more deep into the Hassan chapter, the Beltangadi chapter, as well as now, I mean, we have been actively participating in a reciprocation. We have also believed the knowledge of the benefit which we had. Already, I would only say that a very, very celebrations, and it is completed on single brand, the same brands. Okay, possibly now the brands with some additional names, but it is not like that. The single brand which has been now wherever we are, especially. See, this has actually, I mean, given to a flying cars. Ramco is this situation actually have made us, I mean, two more. Okay, it is a very, very difficult situation we are in, and we are such a resilient people, and the connectivity. Even if you look at India as a whole, the kind never thought 1 year members, or even with the associations, or even with the connect with the people like all of you may not be possible. But if you look back, that 2 years, possibly we might have done the maximum webinars. Almost every day I'm seeing that okay, we are, so based on that, we are now giving different types of cement based on the application. So we are not just a manufacturer of cement today, we are a solution provider. See, that is Ramco Superkit or RSP, and the acceptance levels, even in the last 2 years when we are introduced, we never thought that okay, it may not be accepted to that extent, even at village level, the rural level, and even the urban level, as well as with the civil engineering fraternity, volume with that itself given kind of a measurement in terms of the acceptance of this kind of product lines. I don't want to, extend, where all, we are using it, but definitely, all over India, we are using, wherever we are, like eastern areas, like central area, like here, we are using in all the major projects finished in Manipur. So this exclusively Ramco. Another major feat of us is basically from Siliguri to Sikkim and Sikkim to Arunachal Pradesh. Now railway group is constructing to reach the Chinese border much faster. So those entire area actually we are only supporting and giving it. So all this thing is, inauguration is on 28th of this month. So that is another 2 million tons. And along with that, our existing plant in Karnataka, Mathod, is also revamped and help in getting this kind of feat. Once again, from Ramco's side, my thanks to all of you, especially to association members.
A short clip of 30 seconds would be played. Immediately after that, we start with vote of thanks. Please. Later. Shall we move ahead? Okay. Thanks to Shri Jayakumar for the wonderful contribution they have made.
It's a pleasure to talk to you a few words. Engineering is directly responsible for today's all civilian facilities. Explained it so nicely. Now, in continuation, civil engineering facilities, marvels like Vidhan Saudha, Mysore Palace, the list is endless. In fact, I fail in my words like, at this juncture, I would like to narrate a small factual story about Sir M. Visvesvaraya. During his service with Bombay province, he was due, as it is, the Viceroy instructed the governor to treat this exceptional meritorious engineer. The Bombay governor immediately is not going to get with the pension, but with equal. His letter addressed to Sir M. Visvesvaraya. Visvesvaraya has been a testimony of Sir M. Visvesvaraya for his integrity. There are so many such. Is there any dearth of intelligence? The list again goes on. About cities. See, after resigning from the Bombay province, Sir M. Visvesvaraya will go on tour to Europe. At that point of time, Hyderabad was under the Nizam's rule. In September 1908, there were severe flash floods in Hyderabad and Secunderabad cities, and about 2,000 people simply wished upon Sir M. Visvesvaraya to find out the solution for this. To cut short, and came back and studied for about 6 months. His study itself takes 6 months, whereas to finalize his solution, he took 1.5 months. You can just imagine what kind of, today everyone gives the solutions. Politicians give the solutions, administrators gives the solutions, self-proclaimed social media gives the solutions. But the holistic study of any problem is more time-consuming and tedious to arrive at appropriate solutions. Once the problem is understood, the solution will become very simple. But to find out the problem, it is really a tough job, and we are not giving any importance to understand this aspect clearly. Not to blame the government, but the government always wants shortcut goals and targets which are detrimental to the long-term benefits of any scheme, project, or a concept. We recently demolished it to facilitate the metros and other things which we are well aware of it. Was it planned for only 20 years is our question now. Stopped in between, halted and halfway completed, since it was actually planned for construction within a year or maybe 13 months exactly, but took about 5 years to complete. And why west of Card Road from Tollgate to Yeshwantpura taking 8 years and still going on by blocking one side of the road always, the buildings. Look at the scientific roads, whether we are in private, nothing to do with the civil engineering, times execute, and our colleagues now is, and non-civil engineers, technical people are constructing the roads, and you can see the potholes. Our building bylaws are drafted by either incompetent or appropriate and technical delivery system, that is tendering and other facilities. The whole system, delivery system, to ease in the business, but without taking collective them about the bad impacts of these systems, but it did not. Technical as well as administrative approvals are almost taken at the whims and wishes of the town, receiving everything that comes, its own plans. The road engineer does not know where the BWSSB lines and pipes are there, or the electrical lines and communicable lines are buried under the road. Stormwater drains has its own maps, records, lake development authority priorities, etc. Then who is right, who is wrong is the question. Because of the reasons stated above, the morale of the civil engineers has lowered to such an extent today that there are no takers for this. No, is the civil engineering. Some of beautiful examples could be that, which we have taken it by RTI. Are doing the non-civil engineers to out of the box, what we always call it. As civil engineers, we are wasting our technical knowledge, efforts, time, and the public money at the whims of the non-civil engineers and working in the delivery system. I strongly feel, as a technical experts, we should look the problems like bird view from all. There should be a technical concentric statutory. We at ACCE Bangalore Center have been striving all these basic civilian problems as it at its grassroots level and meetings from the past 4 to 5 years. Some of the recommendations were already submitted to the respective government bodies like BBMP, BDA, Karnataka Housing Board, Karnataka Planning Authority, Chief Secretary Government of Karnataka, BMRDA, DALT, etc. Some of the issues that we have studied and submitted were parking issues, draft building bylaws, Karnataka State Professional Civil Engineers Act. According to the World Trade Organization's GATT, that is General Agreements and to Indian civil engineers across the world. As such, there are many actions that have taken place from the regulation. The second point I would like to mention is incorporating the National Building Code of India 2016 in all construction departments. The National Building Code of India, that is NBC 2016, came in 2006. Representation of professional civil engineers from various civil engineering professional bodies in advisory boards of planning and construction related departments and bodies such as Planning Authority, Niti Ayoga, BDA, BBMP, Karnataka Housing Boards, KPSC, BWSSB. Doesn't need to bring changes in the system to make. Then finally, enacting Karnataka body. 3 phrases, tender conditions, etc. shall be passed by this body, specifically by this apex body. I seek everyone's support from this august civil engineering fraternity, also from the administrators, to bring discipline, integrity, honesty and prosperity to the society, virtues of Sir M. Visvesvaraya. And with this, I thank you one and all. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka, Jai Civil Engineers. And of the civil engineers, we had requested our senior construction field and also for the subsequent supervisors and other skilled laborers. Our G.H. Basavaraj sir was instrumental. It is going to be a reality over the existing Alumni Association building. So this is the other message I wanted to give.
This is a bird sanctuary in our cement plant. It is a wetland bird habitat. We have created a water body which is rich in biodiversity and an environment that is pollution-free. Around 10 acres of land has been specifically earmarked for this bird habitat.
Shri Ajit Kumar SM, Secretary, ACCE, Bengaluru Center, to propose vote of thanks. During vote of thanks, he will also take us through the honoring of.
Thank you, sir. Now we come to an end of the program, and it's time to thank everybody who contributed to make this event. Parvez, MD BMRCL, for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion and addressing us with a very transparent and honest address. So I request, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for coming all the way from Chennai and gracing us. Thank you very much. Heartfelt thanks to our partner, MS and Sri Anil Pillai, SGM Technical Services. Now we thank both the founder members, Engineer Umesh B. Rao and Engineer K.R. Garudadejan sir, for gracing this occasion. Yeah, I request, I thank Commissioner Anil Pillai sir. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah. We thank HQ Treasurer. Both of them to come on this dais to members, participants, and member of ACSI, ladies and gentlemen, on the list, our office staff. Before we complete, I request Dr. Ajit Sabnis to.
And happy Engineers Day. I am here just to remind you about November, the usual flagship event of ACC. I'm sure all of you must have been already bombarded with series of make your gracious presence felt at Nimhan's convention. This time, dear friends, is going to be extremely interesting. The theme of the topic has been selected as sustainable development, the future. Sustainable development has to be inevitable. A slight new approach, what has been tried, inaugural sessions. Of course, in the inaugural sessions, we have Uresh, we have Mili Mujumdar, who is the Senior Vice President of USGBC and also the Managing Director of GBIC. And apart from that, on the codal provisions, Sanjay Pant is coming. Apart from these three speakers, all the rest of the speakers are youngsters for whom sustainability is not just a theory, but for them, the 14 sessions, how do we achieve the carbon footprint? We have excellent speakers, young speakers, rupees, and then today there are 500 crore companies. It is being practiced and should be practiced, and at the same time can please. Otherwise, the technocrats and bureaucrats have always been echo my words. So thank you very much, and then please take this opportunity.
May I request all of
मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा भारत भाग्य विधाता जय 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 हे.
Please have the dinner, but one announcement, taking back your badge, and we are reusing it again in another event. Alisko Tatsaril.